Black and Wiley. Mark Schlereth is back. We're joined now by Super Bowl champion Will Blackman.
What's up, man?
Time now.
What you mean? Hey, I got a question
For a big story. Let's move to Baker Mayfield, who just can't seem to stop talking trash. The Browns quarterback just sat for a lengthy profile in GQ, talking about everything from the Browns' future to his over-the-top personality. He also appeared to take a shot at an unprovoked shot at another quarterback, telling the magazine, quote, "I cannot believe the Giants took Daniel Jones. Blows my mind. Some people overthink it. That's where people go wrong. They forget you've got to win." Baker appeared to be referring to Jones going 17-19 at Duke as the starting quarterback, but today he responded to the story on Instagram, writing, quote, "This is not what I said. Just so we're clear. I also said I was surprised I got drafted #1. Then was talking about the flaws in evaluating quarterbacks, where I brought up winning being important. Reporters and media will do anything to come up with a clickbait story. Heard nothing but good things and wished nothing but the best for Daniel Jones."
I like that one.
Why'd you read it like that, though?
Sound like baby from Cash Money.
Why'd you read it like that?
Problem with Baker's criticism of Daniel
Done
Jones.
with it.
I don't have a problem with his personality. I don't have a problem with him always wanting to smoke. I remember Deion Sanders getting drafted with 20 gold chains on. And the only thing I loved about that is he said, "Bullseye. Come on." And he backed up every level and every one of them damn chains every single year he bought. So I love the personality. I don't like the content and what he was saying about Daniel Jones in specific. And it's not factual. It's just not. I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks, there's a list that is a divide of quarterbacks who won in college, like a Tim Tebow and Jameis Winston. How's it working in the pros? Not the same. Versus those who have lost in college. Elway, your favorite quarterback. Jared Goff, Super Bowl quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, the MVP of the league. They all lost in college. So part of that retraction, to me, feels like, oh, one, I don't want to really come across like this to Daniel Jones. Who knows what he could become? But two, I'm actually incorrect in what my analysis is. So maybe somebody got to him and made him retract it. But still be yourself. Just fact check before you go out.
Yeah, if you can play, you can play. And to back up your statement, Kellen Moore is the winningest quarterback in college football history. He's 30 years old. He's the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. You know, so to back that up. But, yeah, same thing. I love his personality. I love that he's honest. I respect that. It depends how the question was proposed. You know, he could have said, spoken for everybody else. Yeah, I was shocked, just like everyone else, you know, that they took him. I don't look at it as a shot, because just based on, I wasn't there for the interview, but I don't think he would go out there and just start attacking people. Now, I know he's the type where you say something to him, that you're never gonna hear the end of it. But I don't see it as an attack.
Well, he attacked his own running back until he finally got traded away.
Well, his running back, but I'm not. Well,
unprovoked.
Unprovoked, yeah.
We don't stay in each other's pockets. You know, I got my own address. You got your own address. It's not your pocket.
100% agree.
You know, for a guy that keeps a list on everything that everybody else says, you know, you probably ought to just, when it comes to other players, maybe you shouldn't, you know, put yourself down that road if you're Baker Mayfield. I get that part of it. I understand that things do oftentimes get taken out of context. We do it in this business all the time. Like, I remember talking effusive in my praise for Tim Tebow as a person, as an athlete, as a work ethic guy. And then I would say, you know, at the end of that, the caveat was, yeah, but from a quarterbacking standpoint, he doesn't have the discernible quarterbacking skills that it takes to play in this league. And the only thing that gets printed is Schlereth says that Tim Tebow doesn't have discernible quarterbacking skills, right?
Long said he's a scrub.
Right, yeah, exactly. Right. So I understand how the game is played. I do understand that that standpoint. And the winning thing, like my whole thing is, can you play or can you not play? You know, you hear it from guys from small schools all the time. Oh, this is a small school, he didn't play against competition. Then can you play or can you not play?
Right.
Put on the film.
Yeah.
What is the film? What does my eyeballs tell me about this guy? If he can play regardless of what level he played at, whether he won in college or not.
Well, where he's dead wrong and Marcellus is right is the key indicator that they say predicts success is the number of starts in college. That's what they say is critical. 17-19 means the guy started 36 games. That's like 3 seasons worth. It's the guys that come out after playing 1 season or 2. Mark Sanchez. We got a kid, Kyler Murray, now that's coming out with just 1 season under his belt. That's where the red flags start to fly. And so, look, I think I said this earlier today on a radio interview. These guys that all want to be like Deion Sanders, Jalen Ramsey. I want to be Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, Muhammad Ali, man, these are once-in-a-lifetime type guys, man. That's lightning in a bottle that you can be that guy. And to me, with Deion and with Muhammad Ali, that's just in them at birth. That's who they are. I see a lot of guys trying to be them. They weren't trying to be anything but themselves. And so this, to me, smells a little bit like Jalen Ramsey, talking too much. And then Jalen Ramsey, a really talented guy, but it blew up in his face.
GQ putting something in the water. I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, man.
I don't know what they're doing in the interviews, man.
And so I just say be careful here, Baker. You know, let your play talk the loudest. Because
Man, that's an old bottle with, like, I know our age.
But he can play, so I agree. Let that
Well, agree
happen.
what? Agree what? The world has changed into the polarization.
No, I'm saying I
including-
agree in terms of let his play speak.
No, look, you can be understated in this league and not get your proper monetary value or proper appreciation.
For example, who?
For example, one, Richard Sherman and Darrell Revis just found this out the right way, like a Floyd Mayweather. Pretty boy Floyd was undefeated, and nobody gave a damn. Then he turned to Money Mayweather. Everybody said, let's make him the highest paid athlete.
Speaking of what Sherman
let's keep
Go
going.
ahead,
Let's stay in our
go.
sport. Richard Sherman, those guys. Oh, it's great to go out there and get 5 interceptions, but get 5 interceptions and sell some smoke with it. Now, all of a sudden, you're a household name.
Right.
Dennis Rodman said, I was getting 18 rebounds when I was just a normal guy without pink hair, but once I did, all of a sudden, everything changed. There is something to selling that smoke. You just got to do it. You just got to back it up.
Here's the one thing about him, and you know, having covered one of his games, called one of his games, talked to John Dorsey, the GM of the Cleveland Browns. John Dorsey told me, I'll paraphrase, he's all onions. Like, he is who he is. He is 100% all in, all onions, in your face. That's who he is. And as long as you're authentic, like I think most players, most coaches, most guys, as long as you are who you are, you get away with it if you're Muhammad Ali because that's who you are.
Right.
You get away with it with Deion Sanders because you are that.
It's not an act.
And it's with Baker, it's not an act. He is who he is. So he's authentic, and that to me is the biggest part of it about
all
it.
right, Darnell, what did we miss?
Yeah, it's Baker's teammate who's also not scared to speak his mind, OBJ. Sports Illustrated posted an article earlier today where OBJ talked about being traded to Cleveland. He said that the Giants had received better offers for him and still chose to sell him to the Browns out of spite, saying, quote, "This wasn't no business move. This was personal. They thought they sent me here to die." You think there's some truth to this?
No, I think they made the best. I think
Give
they
me
made
$90 million and send me to Cleveland to live with my best friend.
Oh, I'm the mistake on the lake. Let's do it, baby.
And I think this is a shot at Cleveland more than anything.
Absolutely.
It really, I mean, obviously he wasn't around and maybe haven't studied enough of Cleveland football, the dog pound, the OGs.
There's history there, man.
Man, Cleveland was the spot. When I was
It's a
growing
football
up,
town.
Cleveland, Denver, you were like, oh, that's the AFC Championship game, it felt like every year. But with that said, it's always personal, OBJ. But you're taking it personal because you're involved. I get it, but it's still a transaction to them, so
Right.
you got to detach yourself emotionally from it. But to go to Cleveland and die, if you land in any of these 32 cities that have a football team, guess what,
privilege.
man? It's a privilege because that check cashes at every bank.
I see what he's saying. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, you cover them, you look at them on paper. Now, paper, like I like to say, if the games were played on paper, I'd spend less time on an operating table. They're not. But you look at them on paper, man, this is a damn talented football
Absolutely,
team.
yeah.
A really talented football team.
I did him a favor.
I think I can see where he's saying that because the Giants did underperform. And the fact that he was part of the moves that they made in the offseason, I can see why he took it personal. But everybody moved on. And he's saying move on, like you're good.
Yeah.
Like,
Move on,
You're
bro.
in a great, you got a wonderful quarterback. You got plenty of dough, and you're with your best friend. You're in a team that's on a rise that, like, the inner workings are trying to get this team to where
You
it
got
needs
that
to be.
Doo-Doo Brown Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
You better be happy you got that Doo-Doo Brown Rolls Royce.
All right, coming up,
Doo-Doo
the
Brown.
Antonio Brown helmet saga just won't go away. But is the latest twist actually evidence that AB doesn't want to play anymore? We get into that